LeBron James, 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 LeBron James.
All right, we are live.
Nobody's going to be talking shit about me being a midget on this podcast. I tell you that. We're all the same size. We're good.
Just three guys with the same
Same
size.
live. Too tall for the Oompa Loompa factory.
Same size penis. That's how I book my guests.
Does
I
he book
say,
his
show me your
guests?
dick or you're not getting on.
Yeah,
That's why I don't have
But only
LeBron
hard.
James on the podcast.
You're right.
Do an intro.
Because he's actually got a tiny penis, and it would just ruin everything.
Well, there we go.
Wait,
All right.
you can dunk and you're under 6 inches?
Who do you think has the smallest penis in the NBA? I have a theory on this.
That's a great
It's
question.
just open to the floor.
I have a theory, but I'll
Carl's not technically in the NBA, but I'd say my vote.
That's just dudes that play basketball in general.
He
Of
didn't
everyone,
say in the arena. Okay. So.
of everyone that plays basketball, Carl Legacy has the smallest penis,
He's in the bubble and he needs to show his penis to get out. He lives.
including children.
Included Gigi Bryant, which I'm so mad at myself. I just said that.
I thought you said Gigi Allen. That's a different.
No, that's a rock star.
He's a pedophile.
But welcome back, everybody, to the I Want to Meet LeBron James podcast.
In case you left.
Which they often
In
do
case
in
you
the
were busy on holiday.
After a long hiatus.
Sorry, we've been busy.
It's not the welcome back. It's like, hey, I remember I gotta do one of these, but you're here.
Yeah.
We got the savant himself. We got some great guests on today. To fans of the show, to fans, people love him. You know what I mean? Big
I've never
basketball
listened to
minds.
this podcast.
Yeah, but people do like it. Oh, you've heard it in passing or whatever.
I do like the idea of it.
Yeah, it's good.
I want you to meet LeBron.
There you go. What about you?
James the Baker.
I hope you never meet LeBron.
Well then,
No, I hope you meet LeBron and he snubs you.
Well, we got good
You're
cop.
like really disrespectful.
Good cop, racist cop over here. All right. But we got the basketball savant. Thanks for taking a break as being at a float in Mardi Gras to be here today. We got Jackson. P.S. How you doing, lad?
I've never been better. I've been watching far too much basketball and it's melting my brain.
Exactly. We're going to pick our brackets today. He's still got Pelicans. I don't have the heart to tell him they're not making it. So don't blow it for him. They're going to the finals, lad. I'm sure they are. And then we got one of the Cum brothers, the Splash Sister himself, Sam Kissajukian. How you doing, lad? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You going to Perth tomorrow?
Going to Perth tomorrow. I got this.
Sad
Get
to
this
see you
in
go,
and out. Well,
but I like to watch you leave.
That's gay. But I got that Boris Dio ass, so that's pretty good.
Boris Dio on his boat in the fucking Bahamas or whatever he does now.
Whatever the fuck he wants.
Apparently he lives on it. Like I was listening to a podcast. Let's shout out another podcast that's better than this. Raja Bell has a podcast. Raja Bell has a podcast. Yeah, on the Ringer. Yeah. And he had Boris Dio on, and then they were just talking about how Boris like lives on a catamaran and just drinks wine now.
The only podcast that's better than this is LeBron James's podcast, which is called I Want to Meet Carl Legacy podcast.
Yeah.
Jokes, just wake up.
I was about to say, I'm refreshing Spotify every day. It's not there, so I would
Boris
know.
is...
Yes. Did you see on Twitter that guy from Breaking
I see.
Bad that tweeted he thought he was writing into the search bar, but he was actually writing into Twitter? He just wrote sex gifs.
Do you see
Which one from Breaking Bad? The one with cerebral palsy? Because maybe he was trying to type that, but he's got the cerebral palsy hand.
Perhaps, yes.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe I'm a bad person.
Maybe that's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
you're a
Maybe you're
monster.
right.
Yeah.
Chris Paul's Twitter got hacked very recently, and someone posted some
I'm tall.
very funny shit.
What did they write?
Stuff you can't
missed this.
repeat out of my mouth. That's for sure.
Oh, so Black Twitter.
Yeah,
was
you
going
can
crazy on
you
this.
can look. Yeah, you can look that up in your own time.
Oh, all right. Well, if you're a fan of the N-word, look it up at
Yeah, it was
home.
a boo.
If you're not too busy watching this podcast.
If you're not too busy. Some of them haven't came back yet, so you know what I'm saying.
Shouts out to
what I'm doing.
our live listeners.
It's a sad day today. Mark Eaton has died. He's left us, everybody.
Mark Eaton pussy.
Mark
You know what I mean?
What the fuck?
In a basketball accident?
He was non-basketball related. It was a bicycle accident. From
What?
I googled it. It said attempted bicycle accident. So I don't know what that means. If he was so tall, he was attempting to ride a bike and then just came off it.
Yeah, he hit his head, and from like 7'3", that's a fatal injury.
He broke both his knees on the handlebars trying to pedal.
I mean,
and
you've
then put his
seen
heads through the spokes.
you've seen like old ass centers when they get to the end of their career, where they just look incredibly fucking fragile.
Oh, like Sean Bradley just is in a coma because of a bike incident as well. Like the NFL have got fucking concussions. We got fucking penny farthings or some shit. Like, it's like, what's going on here?
They were unicycling.
And how do you miss a 7-footer on a fucking bike as well?
Because they're riding in every direction.
They're in both lanes.
They're like, help! This is the first time I tried it.
No,
I only played basketball for 50 years.
They just got confused between basketball and bicycle. They misheard. No,
You ever try and bounce a bicycle?
their legs would be too long to ride it. You'd probably get too much power. It'd like shoot you forward too far, you know?
There'd be a lot of endos and
Because the whole rotation would be
I think
too...
it would be a tandem bicycle with one of the seats and pedals removed.
Well, that's actually how Sean Bradley and and Mark Eaton got injured. They were riding a tandem bicycle together.
in both opposite
facing each
directions.
other. They were guarding each other. They were posting up mid-cycle.
Yeah, dude, the footwork was incredible.
That's brilliant. Anyway, I think he did. I think he was 63 or maybe 53.
I will bounce a ball in your
this
honor.
year he was a hero to the Gingers. He would be the top 3 all-time Gingers with Chuck Norris and Little Mermaid, I guess.
Yeah,
but
that was a good list.
That's a good list. Off the top of my head, that's not bad.
That was
actually,
great.
Those are 2 pulls. That's
I
better than
guess-
you usually do.
Ron Weasley, 6th man of the year.
Better than your
obviously.
average of 0. Of
Bill
being
Burr.
like, I got something for this. Nah, sorry. False alarm.
That's why we keep recording it with no editing because we don't want to miss anything. We can't miss anything that I say.
Tune in next week for the longest ginger list of all time.
Can we skip to the bit where me and Kyle try and remember a basketball player's name and don't know it for 5 minutes?
They're some of the best ones.
Us being like, I played small forward for the Spurs in 2004.
What about a podcast called...
He used to wear high black Nike shocks. It's like the worst description. He had an arm tattoo. He had an arm tattoo. That one wasn't.
Yeah, that's most of the podcast.
What about a basketball podcast where you just campaign for gingers to get into the NBA?
Sorry, you said campaign and I got excited.
Cameron Payne.
Yeah. He had 22.
I mean, it did in a loss, so it doesn't matter. Though,
Yeah, those scoop layups were gorgeous.
They were nice. I mean, that left-handed 3-point shot is awful. I don't know what he's trying to do. It looks like it's a fucking corkscrew or some shit.
There's a reason he's a backup point guard.
To Chris Paul, though, that's nice.
That's
he's
true.
a starting point guard now. Chris Paul's injured, so.
Yeah, the Bulls should get him
Just
back.
saying. Yeah, exactly.
How did the Bulls, I know the playoffs are on, but how did the Bulls get worse?
Well, fucking
They
something
invested
weird.
in a white player.
Levain got injured for like he was in COVID protocols for so fucking long. It was COVID protocols are meant to be 2 weeks, and I feel like he was in COVID protocols for 3 fucking months. I don't know what it was.
Yo, that shit's like even Tatum and
Westbrook.
Fournier and stuff are they have to use inhalers now.
Yeah.
I don't know until fucking they stop having to use it, but the doctor's you just
He's
gotta
on
use it
48
now
points
for
and he's like,
it. Yeah.
50.
Also,
It's no joke. Like once you come back, apparently you're still fucked forever.
Yeah.
also for a deep dive, fucking Daniel Gafford, once he went to the Wizards, was actually really good. And I don't know if that affected the Bulls' record, but I felt like with the games I watched of the Bulls this year, Gafford off the bench, he just jumps at everything, and it just it gives them a level of rim protection that you just don't get from Vucevic or Tice. Neither of them are particularly defensive-minded centers. They're kind of stretch 5-y type of guys. So I feel like they had a little bit of toughness that they lost when they replaced their center rotation.
You wouldn't say Tice is defensive mindset.
Nah, Tice is soft
why
as
is he out
shit,
there?
man.
No, but that's what he's out there for. He's a rim protector, really. Isn't
Well, he can shoot a little bit. If you actually watch him play, he takes a lot of very ill-advised threes. He's sort of got Marcus Smart syndrome.
But he's hit them. I mean, what would he throw up realistically? 3 a game, though, or something?
Yeah, but it's the problem of why I said Marcus Smart syndrome is that thing of he's the dude that thinks he should be taking the biggest shot of the game for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Where it's you look at his shooting stats and you're like, yeah, it's 40% or whatever, or some respectable percentage for a center. But then he just shoots them at the worst fucking moments where he'll be like, oh, I got this game. Should I pass to Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? He's like, nah, this is Daniel Tice time, baby. This is Tice time.
He was the fucking Michael Jordan of Germany, though.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
that?
dude.
He would have been the man on his team. And then also with Marcus Smart, I feel he's free he's heat checking a charge. So he'll take a charge on one end and then he shoots a free. He's heat check. And it's well, yeah, heat checky defense, not the fucking offense.
Oh, yeah. He always thinks that, He's like has the weirdest like psychological thing with his like defense, where he's like, I'm a two-way player. As soon as I make a big defensive play, go down the other end, make a big offensive play, and you're like, no. Go down the other end, pass the fucking ball, cunt.
We're subbing you out.
It's like you're going to drive the ball, you get a turnover, you chase it down, you foul him, they score 2 points.
Yeah. And he's like, do you see that hustle, man? The intangibles.
I'm impacting the game.
Yeah.
I play for the other team.
Another player with way too many intangibles and not enough tangibles. You know? True. The guy does not have that many tangibles. He can't really
Don't use
shoot.
words that we don't understand. One of us.
As soon as you said tangible, my mind just
Tangerine.
Went to,
Tangerine.
it got a tangerine.
You're like, I haven't been eating a lot of citrus.
It was even more. I was thinking I need to get a few more smoothies in my diet, but my mind went to Tangled, the movie. You know, where she's
stuck
like
in the hair.
Rapunzel.
Yeah, she's
but
stuck in the hair.
rip-off, yeah.
Yeah.
Another famous ginger.
Thank you.
Wow.
Wow, you really
You know,
like
gingers have got it tough when you're
sowing
going
the
to put
seeds.
make-believe ones out to get the top 5 pumping
getting in there.
up.
Hey, you know, Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, was he a redhead?
Wasn't he? Red, what do you mean his red body, wasn't he? He was a,
See, here's the problem. I think
wasn't he a crab?
He's
Sebastian
a lobster.
Sebastian must be dead because crabs only go red when you boil them.
Oh,
Is that a fun? Well, it's not a fun fact.
that's
It's a fan theory.
Wait. So, oh really?
Fun theory.
I've seen lobsters in tanks. Aren't they red?
No, they're like blue and shit.
Oh, maybe they
They're
are
like
white
blue
and
and
shit.
green,
I think
man.
he's onto something.
That's wild.
They don't go red till later.
So you reckon that every lobster, they like when they're filming it, they boil it till death, and they're like, we've only got one take here, so you better kill this.
Well, the great thing about animation, Kyle, is they actually don't have to use real crabs and lobsters for that.
You're gonna make me cry today, aren't
It's
you?
just a drawing, Kyle.
That's bullshit.
It's just a
Is
drawing.
it? Can I draw and sing and swim? You fucking idiot.
Can he sing? Can he swim? Can he motivate a young woman that's half fish to fuck a prince, even though she doesn't have the requisite genitalia to pull it off?
Jordan's can't do anything. I draw dicks on the wall all the time. Doesn't mean I can suck them.
You can. I've seen it.
Well, I've tried, and
Yeah, you
it just disappears.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Those are rough.
But we're gonna have Mark Eaton up here anyway because for a little bit because
Mark Eaton was meant to guest on this podcast, but unfortunately, he
I know.
passed away
If
in a
only I had
bicycle.
a week earlier. He said to me, he said, I'm sorry to do this, to cancel again.
After
for the
you
fifth
nearly
time,
had Kobe on as
I
the guest.
but I just got a brand new bike. I said, well, I love bikes. Yo, you
Mark
gotta try
Eaton
them
said
out.
that?
He said the brakes are coming next week. I said, who needs brakes? Don't be a pussy.
He was actually cycling to Kyle's
that's
house.
Mark Heath
unrelated.
Morris.
No, Mark Eaton.
Oh, Mark Eaton.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm sorry to cancel." He said, "No worry, I'm used to it being cancelled." Anyway, enjoy your ride, baby.
No.
But whoever slashed Mark Eaton's tyres, we're gonna fucking find you. No, it's not tyres, tyre. Sorry.
I don't want to know. It's a Utah Jazz player. He's probably racist. It's fine.
I've got a. His fans are, I guess.
Yeah, that or a pedophile. You know,
There's some.
Carmelo.
Oh, Carmelo. Sorry, yeah, fuck every time.
And you.
I'd love to see the
That's why I
Utah.
looked at you. I'm like, don't mention it on air, lad. I'm trying not to be a pedo during podcasts.
Yeah.
I'd love the Utah Jazz cheerleading squad just to like scat. That's like just there. Just a bunch of big women just being.
Can they give it back though? Because the Pelicans would love to be called the Jazz. Can we have it back?
That's
The
true,
Pelicans
isn't
would
it?
love to be
That would
called the
so
Jazz.
much
They used to be
better.
called the Jazz.
Yeah,
it's
we
New
lost our
Orleans,
team,
isn't it? Yeah.
and they became the fucking Utah Jazz, and for some reason the Jazz are very insistent that they are the Jazz, and we have to be called the fucking Pelicans, which is a dumb name,
It's
and
not
Pierre
a-
the Pelican is gross.
It's not a dumb name. It's a very strong name. Pelicans are an alpha bird.
No, man.
They're big.
Are they found in Central United States of America though? Normally.
They can fly a long way.
Well, fortunately, New
Hey.
Orleans is not in the central part of the United
Well,
States.
it's not in Alaska either, is it though? So that was the point I was making.
So, famously in the South. Kyle.
They're no Detroit Aids.
No Detroit AIDS.
That's our dream team.
Or the Memphis Grizzlies.
Memphis Grizzlies.
There's a team. So that to tell this story of how we ended up here, me and a friend of the podcast, Jackson Stewart, were looking at
Not friend of yours, but friend of the podcast.
friend of the podcast, long time listener, Jackson Stewart.
If you're listening now, clean your dishes, go to bed.
We were researching one, Dante D1, as you guys know, a true icon of
That
Sydney
would be
comedy.
such. If this worked as sound bites now, that would be the best time for a D1.
See what happens.
Oh! Shout out to the Tom and Frenchy Podcast for letting us borrow your... Well, not borrow, you left it here, you dumb cunts. Hostage.
X-Files shit.
baby.
Wait,
You found it.
what's best, Dante? That's not a Dante, is it?
Dante D1.
That's not Dante.
Well, that's never happened.
No, that's the secret button. Don't tell him behind the curtain.
We'll do this. Drop his name.
Dante D1.
Changing it. All right, go. All right, that's perfect.
So we were researching Dante D1, and he does claim on his website that he is sponsored by the ABA, a basketball association that you may well know was
I don't know. I
defunct.
think he just misspelled ABBA.
did unfortunately go defunct in like the fucking 70s.
Yeah.
And so we found out that there's a new league called the ABA, which is like a semi-professional league. And in that league, there is a team that called themselves the Memphis Grizzlies. Not Grizzlies.
Yes.
They changed the R to a W so they didn't infringe upon the copyrights.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What? Wait. So they're a basketball team now?
Yeah, I mean, they
Same logo?
no, different. Like they don't like these teams are not good. I think Sharif Abdul-Rahim was coach of the year in this league though. So,
That's ball. I love
so
that.
just that was the only person I recognized in any of it.
But Dante.
Yeah, I'm the Chicago Bulls. I don't want to infringe on copyright.
The New York. Anyway. You know what I'm doing there.
Knox, the New York Knox.
Yeah, don't worry about that one. You can put that one together at home. So picture this: you're racist. What would you do?
Put that together and immediately follow this podcast.
Yeah.
The New York.
The Milwaukee Blacks.
Something Blacks. Something. The New York. Something Blacks.
Yeah, what can we put there? I don't know.
It's instead of Mockers, it's Blacks.
I
Just
can't-
think of what maybe that could be.
I can't think of what it would be.
I don't know what it would be. But maybe they've got two of the same letters in there. But who knows what it could be. This is brutal.
I'm the Washington Lizards. Slither. Oh.
You know Washington State, famous for their lizards. Having to change your name from the Washington Bullets because you have too much gun crime was a brutal state of being.
We play in a
the locker
different
room as well. Not even like outside.
Yeah,
we
unfortunately,
actually,
Gilbert.
it's not even a different team. We're in a different league. We play a different game. We've got different rules. You can get a triple dribble if you want.
Remember, Sam, when we were walking, it was last time I was here, we came up with, can we talk about this on the pod? I think we can. It's
I'm the Philadelphia 69ers. How you going? It's just the position I like to play. We got to stretch five, you assholes.
What was that we done? It was stats for picking up women. What was it?
Clay
I
Thompson
don't
would be
remember.
top of the league, dude.
I
Don't
remember
even
some of
remember.
them. No, it was like what we'd call it. So like a steal was if you and you get it's over a year. So each game average.
But it can be
is
played
over
by
a
both
year.
genders. There is
Exactly.
a different league.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
men.
Woke. It's woke.
It's a
Oh,
woke
it's like a
league.
steal is like if you steal your girlfriend's girl and bang her, then that's one. A rebound is if your mate tries to get her and then he doesn't, but then you get her. That's a rebound. Remember what the
A
ejection
block
was?
is
What
like
was-
if you like
you
stop
can't block your boy,
you can't
yeah.
block someone.
Yeah.
a point is just every 10 girls.
We were-
no every 10
Time you
girls.
hook up, you get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You,
get a
Kyle,
point.
we were out the other night. You got a flagrant too. What was that all about?
That was one was like an
You
ejection.
got a
was like-
season suspension.
yeah,
You got traded to the D League in China.
they said it was
Flagrant too.
they said it was like the mouse and the palace in there, dude. You got a long suspension.
It was
You
an
started hitting fans.
it was an unsportsmanlike rape. Okay,
Yeah.
it was very
You're the
unsportsmanlike.
Ron Artest of getting pussy, dude. Kyle World Peace.
I don't want to say anything, but I'm in the Utah Jizz.
Oh my lord!
Philadelphia 69ers was the peak of that riff.
I know, but I'm going to drive it into the ground.
No,
You got it. What
respect
have we
that.
got? Have we got one
the
for
Cleveland Clappers.
Have we got one for Dallas?
No.
Okay.
What was the one you had for New York?
No, that was yours.
Dallas didgeridoos.
Okay, well.
What about the Brooklyn nitpickers? No, that's
Oh,
bad.
no,
that's
that's
bad.
okay.
We're out. We are out. Are we going to talk about?
So the Pelicans have had their team robbed how many times now? Because
Well, we stole the Hornets.
so you
Yeah,
had to
we
get that
stole the
back,
Hornets.
yeah.
'Cause
Was their
Charlotte-
fault for carrying their wallets in the game?
Yes. All right. Now we're cooking. Okay, start the podcast.
Welcome back to it might as well be Chef's Kitchen here. I tell you, it might as well be come down with me because we're cooking out here.
What about
right?
instead of the Timberwolves, the Lumber Poodles?
Okay.
Let's go back to that break, shall we?
The Memphis Frisbees.
What else? I'm trying to remember the teams now.
The Houston Dockets, because they get receipts. Stuff like that.
The
What about instead
Indiana
of the Hornets?
Pacemakers.
It's the
The
new
team
over
of
80s
old
league.
the over 80s.
They don't die in bicycle accidents.
Yo, run up and down. That was too fast. You're out the league.
Yeah. That's just Roy Hibbert trying
They
to
say
run
he's got a
around.
lot of heart. Well, he's going to need it to stay alive.
He's got a lot of heart. The rest of the team, not too much.
Yeah.
But that guy, healthy as a heart.
You might have heard of the Hornets, but you haven't heard of the dyslexic Hornists.
Okay.
The big words, what have I told you?
Yeah,
I
sorry,
take them
the
as a sign of
big-
disrespect.
Yeah, you heard Hornets.
Hey,
You're like, what is he talking?
What about instead of the Raptors, we just dropped the the Rappers?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the
Oh,
Raptors.
okay. I thought you were talking
okay.
about a team that had like,
Yeah.
they just had like Kobe and Derrick Rose.
Carmelo.
Probably the entire league, if we're being honest.
Anybody from 84 to 86
look.
that lived in the downtown area.
It was blurry. The lines were blurry. Anyway.
T-shirt of the week. It's Flat Earth Champions. I almost forgot about that. Shout out to Kyrie and anybody else who is also probably an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah, Kyrie, obviously him going full, like when he was like, I'm doing Ramadan recently. It was great. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, but then didn't he just make 2-minute noodles? He
Well-
just fucked it up. He thought Ramadan was a noodle company.
He's just fucking around, honestly. He doesn't really give a shit. He goes for like 2 of 30 in a game, just goes home and sleeps perfectly. You know that.
He was walking around with a stick for a bit as well. Remember, he had a fucking "You shall not pass."
Yeah, dude, he's awesome. I respect being that, like, just openly crazy, just not giving a fuck. Like,
Agree with them booing him in Boston.
oh, I love when they say the N-word in Boston.
No, I agree with them booing Kyrie in Boston.
Yeah, I mean, did you fucking watch that Milwaukee series?
Yeah.
Like, that Milwaukee series where fucking Kyrie was like, he was like fucking shoving off like fucking Jaylen Brown to try and like ISO guard Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, the guy was fucking off his rocker. Like,
he's an idiot.
he like had like a mental breakdown. Like, that was crazy, and he was brutal on offense. But like, I think the most cardinal sin of the reason why they're upset at him is just because like that shit was fucked. Like,
Yeah.
to think that you're gonna
And
go
then,
out there.
and then he was talking shit about the whole organization and the youth and stuff, and it's like, well, they got further without you last year, so whatever.
Yeah, man, it's like I don't know. I just don't like.
Denver booing Melo. That came out of nowhere for me.
I don't know. Melo coming. I think I don't agree with necessarily Denver booing Melo, but I also think Melo coming out being like, I did nothing wrong, is also like, that's also bullshit. Like,
Well, I reckon he didn't do anything wrong in a Denver uniform. Yeah, he did. He said he was going to stay and then push for that trade.
he
halfway
waited to
through
get
or whatever.
re-signed and then
Yeah.
fucked the team. Man.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but they got some nice pieces for like. It wasn't. He
But it was a
could've left for
cash
nothing.
grab,
He could have
like-
left for nothing though. You know what I mean?
But if they left him-
LeBron, like at least got Gallinari and stuff like that, you still got some pieces in there.
Can I
Yeah.
say, what I love is that I feel that the league has had a huge resurgence of like knowing how to use veterans to like make teams good.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the value of like these players, like, oh, they won't change their game, so they're out, like Melo, for example. But then it's like every time they've given them a chance, like it's been a pretty good hit rate, like Dwight Howard, Chris
Yep.
Paul, D Rose. Like there's a lot of great older players
Chris
that have been.
Paul, you won from that discussion, but for people, like they're all people that have accepted their new roles. But
Who's been
took
pushed
a
out?
while to accept that role. Dwight Howard was starting on every other team he went to, like the Hawks, the Wizards, everything. He was trying to. Then he came there and he knew he had to come off the bench. Melo, the same, was trying to do it in Houston, OKC, and all that. Then he knew he had to come off the bench.
They let go, and then they
Yeah, exactly.
So you reckon the leagues always know how to use these older
Well,
players?
they should be. I mean, they're Hall of Fame players, so it's like
There was a period with like obsession with young guys, and it happened in the draft as well, where like constantly, like this is how like Kevin Knox and shit happened.
Yeah.
Is people just kept drafting people because and it still happens a lot, but not as much. I think people have started like drafting. Yeah, started drafting guys that are a little bit older, right? Because they're like, oh, this guy can actually play. But like, there used to be a real issue of just being like, well, he's 18 years old, like unlimited potential, and you're like, yeah, but like, does he actually have any talent? You know what I mean? Like, and that was the real problem. And I think that happened a lot as well, where people were like, well, we could. Like, I think it was partly because of OKC. Like, OKC being so good, so young. People were like, well, what we can do is follow that model, draft a bunch of really good young guys, develop them all at the same time, and then we all end up being amazing at the same time. That's not how it happens. Most of what happens is you have a bunch of young guys who all have heaps of potential. A couple of them develop. You end up trading the worse young guys to a different team. They get good on that team. It's very rare that, like, you draft a bunch of really, really good guys.
It's rare that two people get good on the same team.
Well, even think about like what happened with Harden. Think about what happened with like Domantas Sabonis, even Ibaka. Like that OKC team is an example of what happens when you have too many good young guys. You just don't have enough ball for them.
There's only one ball.
I don't know, but I reckon the Raptors had a bunch of players that got good on the Raptors.
But again, they trade them for pieces. This is what
They still trade them for pieces.
This is what Masai does. Is he trains up these players to be like really useful. So, like, if you think about all of the dudes that they have on the Raptors,
but the player that you become isn't relevant for your team because you if you're going to get as good as you can be, it's not fitting into a role. It's like finding your own play style, and that's not going to be relevant to the team you're at because you've got too many of the same positions.
The Raptors only draft and only really train two types of players, which is rim protecting centers and sort of rangy shooting wings. And that's how they constantly trade them for value, is because it's what people need. So actually you do train people into a niche, then trade them for someone who breaks the mold.
I got this new team. It's called the Sydney Centers. It's called the Sydney Giraffes. we only have fives. That's it.
Dude.
We've only got centers.
Jokic to the point.
If you're under 7 foot, you can fuck off.
Jokic to the point. Karl Anthony Towns the shooting guard. Small forward Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
The 4 can be.
Let me get Embiid a 4.
Yeah. Yo, how about this?
Let me get Boban.
I got
5.
I got something
course.
for you. I got something. An all-star game, a new tournament. Like people who have played one position their most of their career can only play on the team with everyone of that same position. So it can only be 5s versus 4s versus the 3s versus the 2s versus the 1s. So just wherever you're at in your career, whatever you've had the most game time at that position, that's the team you can go on. Who would win?
Point guards, probably. They just bomb everyone.
Yeah,
out.
I would say most.
Yeah, but then the 5s would score just non-stop.
But as we've seen,
But they still got to bring the ball up the court.
Yeah, you just get.
Yeah,
robbed.
but I mean, there's plenty of 5s that can dribble.
I mean, yeah, but not like that. Not when a double team came. You just swipe it like
but
that.
But 3-point
you know
percentage, where they're going to shoot like 50% at max.
and then you just hack a shack and make them shoot free throws.
But also, like,
but then you get fouled out of the game.
Small ball has already proved that like you can actually take some of those smaller, chunkier, like 6'3", 6'4" guys. And they'll bother a center enough for it to like ruin their efficiency.
But not a superstar center.
Not Embiid, but like other than Embiid or Jokic, it's like who else? Like who else can really kill you like that?
Wait, Embiid,
Jokic, maybe AD. But even AD does actually get bothered by those small little like
Bucks,
immovable bowling balls. Giannis
that's
basically
why PJ Tucker's in the fucking league. Literally, that's what it is.
Giannis isn't a 5. He's just a positionless player. Like he's not even like. Because he played point under Jason Kidd. Like
Yeah, he was playing forward. Jason Kidd doesn't get enough credit for fucking making Giannis as well.
Yeah, but he made nothing else of the teams.
I mean, but that's all, who else did he have then, though? You know what I mean? Like he was lucky to get Giannis out of that, and then he most improved goes to him.
Jabari.
Jabari Potter, Jesus, that fat fuck as well.
Who else was on that team? Brandon Jennings
would have been there.
Couldn't tell you.
Brogdon, did you let go of him, the idiot?
Yeah, Brogdon.
Barack Obama voice.
Yeah. So
Where's Brogdon now? Is he on the
Pacers.
He's at the Pacers,
Yeah.
and they are at home in Indiana.
Thank you.
But
Oh, wow.
playoffs, so
Yeah.
There you go.
you know.
Hey, you've heard of the Portland Trailblazers? Have you heard of the Nimbin Blazers? They've never played a game.
Yeah, they're late to the arena because they smoke weed.
And
Kyle, do you get
Andy
it?
Taylor drug. I get it. Thank you.
Sorry, I
Nice.
thought
I'm the
Blazers-
starting shooting guard. I think I know team morale when I when I see it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get down to fucking brass tacks. The reason we're all here. Jesus. The bracket. What do we got? What do we got, fellas? I want every round, and then I want your eventual champion.
Every round.
Well, go give me a
Well, you gotta
champion
give me the
first, and we
matchup.
work back.
The champion.
Great. Let's start East.
Eastern Conference Finals. I think that I want it to be the Sixers, but I think it'll be probably the Bucks. I also kind of want it to be the Nets because I want D'Antoni to be vindicated.
So just champion then.
I think the champion. I mean, the Lakers are like when they're on, they're on.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing you can do about it.
Lakers. I'm saying Lakers, of course. What about you?
It's an interesting one. If the Bucks, then the Lakers, and if the Nets,
If it's Bucks Lakers finals, then Lakers
and if it's Nets, Lakers, Nets.
Nets.
If we're talking everyone healthy, that's relevant. If the big three and the Nets are healthy, I think it's
So
going
you're taking Nets obviously over Wizards, which I didn't want. I mean
Nets over
no,
Wizards.
No, sorry.
Bucks over Wizards,
You're taking
Sixers over Wizards.
Sixers
You're
over
taking
Wizards.
Thank you.
Sixers over Wizards. Yeah.
and then the Bucks are going to play the Nets.
You're taking
if
Sixers
the
over Wizards,
Celtics-
obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
The-
Do you reckon they'll win one or a gentleman's
No,
sweep? or a
they
sweep?
won't even win
Russ
one.
is injured.
No,
Like,
they won't even win
Russ, he
one.
had a triple double, but I mean, yeah,
They won't-
yeah, but
I mean,
like
it's
his
not-
shooting is
Yeah, yeah.
brutal. Like,
All
he's
right,
going back to his
they're
bad
not winning.
stats.
They're not winning
The
that.
Bucks
I
are
want a
sweat-
one for real deal, Beal. For
Like the
fuck's
Bucks
sake,
sweep the Heat,
but- Yeah.
and the Heat are meant to be better.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Okay, so we got the Sixers going through there,
The-
and then
the-
Sixers up. Who you got? New York or Atlanta?
I desperately want New York to win, but
Yeah.
I don't think they actually have the offensive firepower. Like, I
Yeah.
think they just can't score. Like, they
But
just
I mean,
can't score
like,
at all.
if I mean, but Randall going maybe having a 35-point game could win him a game. You know what I mean?
True, but I just don't think Julius is like ready. Like, I think that he's going to get a lot of shit, and I don't think it's necessarily fair because no one can expect him to be ready to like face the type of defensive attention he's getting.
Yeah.
But I just don't think with the type of defensive attention that he's getting, and DeAndre Hunter is a massive game changer for that
Yeah.
team. I just don't think with the level of defensive attention that he's getting, he can like do what he was doing. I just don't think it's like possible. And then you say, okay, well, other people need to score, and it's like, are you going to win playoff games with old ass Derrick Rose and Alec Burks? Like, I don't think so.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I do like the addition of D Rose in the starting lineup. I mean, that should have happened fucking ages ago. But
that
yeah,
means,
I'm taking Hawks, obviously.
That means like as well, like D-Rose moving up the starting lineup. The problem with that is what's happened is now when you go to the second unit,
I mean, you got Quickly.
you've got
and
either
shit.
got it's quickly Reggie Bullock and Alfred Payton
Exactly.
as your options for running the offense, and all of those are dog shit
Yeah,
at like
yeah,
passing.
yeah.
Like Quickly can score,
You can hit those deep floaters and that, but I mean, he's not a playmaker at any sense of the word.
and if you watch Reggie Bullock try and like set up an offense, it'll make you want to put a gun in your mouth.
also the second unit, they've got like Gallinari and Lou Williams
Oh,
on the
yeah.
Hawks. Like they're two like 6-man of the year.
Gallinari's haircut, I don't know about it, to be honest. I'm not sure.
I kind of like it. I
But
respect
but
it.
I think it's very marching good hardy. Polish Hamry.
I think it's very. It just reminds me of Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. That's the exact haircut, right?
Okay, maybe that's
You know what they say?
Maybe they just got Taxi Driver in Italy, so maybe.
You win games with hair,
There you go.
and you've never won a game.
No bald men in the Hall of Fame for a reason.
Is there not?
Nah, all
There
of
is
them.
all of them,
They'll be
yeah.
exclusively bald, I
To
feel
be
like.
in here, you must donate your hair to charity
Yeah.
for a younger, up-and-coming, I suggest Carl Harnwell legacy.
So then you flipped them that way. I don't know why you. So then we got the.
You got a wig from a Hall of Famer.
I know that's good.
You could have.
You're getting Alfred Payton's old haircut.
I don't want that.
Hey, not in a
That's
bicycle,
chaos,
I'm
that
gonna-
hair.
Yeah, a lot of really bad Magic games that reminds you of.
Sorry,
so
Hawks.
then,
We think Hawks.
Yeah, so then we got Hawks.
And then they're going to play the 76ers?
And they
Yeah,
lost
which-
about 30 seconds.
And they're going to lose 76ers?
Yeah, the 76 are going to take that.
Right. So
And then, so it's Bucks and Nets, isn't it?
So this is where
who's coming out of that?
That's why I think it's tricky, because I think it's a bit of like it's a roll of the dice, because I kind of feel like all those teams can like pivot to adjust to whatever team they're playing. I feel like the Bucks and the 76ers both have some pretty good strategies against the Nets, but it just depends how much the Nets, one, have to rest players at key games, or like oscillate their strategies to like keep the 76ers of the Bucks from shutting them down. Because I reckon both teams can shut them down if they lock in with a certain system that works, but that'll keep shifting.
I think for the Sixers to have a chance against the Nets, they would have to work. Like Simmons would have to be aggressive enough on offense that it makes playing Matisse Thybulle as a starter like a reasonable option, or playing him at least big minutes. Because if you can play him and Thybulle at the same time, you have two of the best defenders in the league.
That's true.
And you can start like really bothering like Harden and Kyrie.
Yeah.
But
then you're losing one of the best shooters in the world with Steph Curry.
Yes, but you can like, I still think you could run like a lineup of those. Like you can move Seth Curry and just deal.
Then you'd have Tobias
go
as
through
power
Embiid.
forward or something.
Tobias is power
Embiid
forward.
scoring 50 in those games.
Yeah.
And you just have to get enough offense out of Simmons, because Thybulle's not going to give you anything.
No,
Thybulle
he'll give you
can't-
an open free or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
like
But he
Thybulle
ain't
can't
gonna hit it.
score at all. But
Yeah.
like he can
He
and the
put
games
the
he
clamps on.
played against Kyrie, like specifically against Kyrie, he terrorized him.
Yeah.
Like terrorized, because his hands are so active and he just shoots, constantly shooting his hands out, and he bothers that handle so much. Kyrie never gets comfortable in his handle, and Kyrie without his handle is sort of just a 6'1" guy, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like,
Yeah, and
Without
then even
that hand, without
liability
that
on
finish.
defense as well. Yeah, totally.
See that's why like after Caruso on the Curry, like fucking locking him up as much as you can lock up Curry, and Curry probably having a bad game on that playing whatever. That's why I'm excited to see that Caruso on Kyrie would be nice, or Caruso on Harden as well would be nice. I mean, I just don't want KCP on anybody, really, to be honest.
KCP is like
The
It's
most
trash.
consistent player
Absolutely.
on the Lakers.
He's
He's there when you
awful.
need
He's
him.
awful in the play. Like I was as soon as I started saying a good word about him, he's like, oh well, I can't be having this, and then started being shit again. Like it's ridiculous.
defensively.
The most humble man in the world.
Defensively, he can I think it's just like he gets a lot of bad matchups because the specific. I think he reminds me defensively of someone like Pat Bev, which is like he's a great defender, but you need to be guarding like sort of 6 foot to 6'4" point guards and shooting guards. Like that's what you need, who are not like super deceptive. Like you want he's good at not being overpowered by smaller guys, which is a very specific guard.
Yeah, because people switch so much. Like it's not even one switch. It's like
Yeah.
pick and roll, switch,
for sure.
switch, and it's like now you're going the five.
I mean, he's not like KCP is not. He's more a hand in the lane, get a steal, fast break. You know what I mean? He's not like slapping the floor, locking down somebody like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you'll get lucky that maybe he'll get a hand in when someone else is defending them. But I mean, he gets a steal.
I feel like teams are so good at switching now that it's not about who you're guarding. It's more about what the team wants, who wants you to guard.
Yeah.
Like the team on offense will decide who they want you to guard.
Well, LeBron's like the LeBron style bum hunting where you're like, oh, this guy's getting fucking cooked. Like, you're like, oh man, like you can't play that dude because he will just hunt the switch.
Yeah.
And he'll just find whoever it is. But the switching is very good. But I think you watch teams like Utah, and even I worry still about Milwaukee a lot with their drop coverage, with the fact that they're still Milwaukee's switching more. But I think that I was looking at the stats, they're switching on defense on the pick and roll 25% of the time, which means 75% of the time Brook Lopez is still dropping to the paint, which against shooting guards, really good shooters, they'll still fucking kill you doing that. Kill you. And Rudy still drops. Rudy can't come out on you. So if you put him in the pick and roll, and he drops and you can shoot, I still don't know if they have a solve for that problem short of playing players like Royce O'Neal more minutes as the Jazz, more minutes than you want to play Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal is a good, tenacious defender, but you don't want Royce O'Neal for, 25, 30 minutes?
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't think you're losing games because of that. I think you're losing games because of that plus not scoring effectively.
True.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that was for the Nets. It's you think, oh, yeah, the Bucks and 76ers, they'll do this defensively to shut them down. It's yes, if also the Nets don't have a strong offense game.
I know,
yeah,
but
of course.
I'm saying, like the Bucks can score as well as the Nets. Like not maybe with ease. Like Durant can go for 40s and Giannis can, for example. You know what I mean? But I'm saying like they can put up the numbers they can, and so and the Bucks can play defense. They can't. Not that you can stop all three of them, but you can stop maybe one or two of them. So like literally, if they're both scoring the same amount of points, but there's defense here, then you've got to give it to the defensive team. In my mind, that's what I would think. Like defense wins games, really. Like at the end of it, like that's what every fucking coach has said for the
this is why I'm sort of rooting for the Nets in like a little bit, because like I root for D'Antoni in the sense that I'm like I don't really want that to be true, right? Like it doesn't make much sense to me to say you can only win if you're good at defense. Like, it makes more sense to me to be like, yeah, you can be so overwhelmingly talented defensively that just, like, you just destroy people.
Yeah.
Like, that should be an option, and not, like, an option where it's like, oh, any team can just go, like, fucking bomb away, score 150. But if you put 3 great players on a team and you say, okay, we're just not going to guard anyone, like, I think that should be an option. And also, that's underrating the level to which they actually do guard people. If you've watched them against the Celtics, like, they guard people. And someone like... I mean, this Bucks series is going to be a lot of Nick Claxton just getting fucking posterized by Giannis.
Yeah.
But Claxton can do something, sort of. He's rangy, he's long, he's quick. Like, he can stay with him. He's still going to get fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
But, like, with these dudes, you're talking, like, percentage point differences. You're talking about, can I take 5% away?
Yeah.
Like, that's all you need to really do. If you can get your guy off and you go, okay, we don't need this guy to not score. We just need him to be slightly more inefficient than normal.
Yeah. We need him
it's
to have literally 30 instead of 36. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like that will win you'll lose you the game.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
you see, Joe Harris is gonna have some fucking games.
Oh, I mean, he's already getting beat. He's getting buckets.
When you got people double teaming one of 3 of your best players, and you got a guy that is just phenomenally, like, he's the best shooter in the league.
Yeah.
When he's getting looks, like besides like Steph Curry, like,
Well, yeah, of course. I mean,
he's gonna have some
whatever.
games. Like, how do you, like, you talk about like defense? It's like how when those 4 are on the floor, like where
I mean,
are you?
I just don't think Durant is healthy enough to be throwing himself on the ball for loose balls and stuff like that, the way Giannis and Drew Holiday and Middleton and all that will do. He's not going to be throwing himself on the fucking... Harden probably will now, because I do like his attitude now, for sure. But, like I don't think... Durant, I mean, he is playing well, but I don't think he wants to be bumping down there with Giannis. There's no way. Like,
the best form of that
no part of
lineup,
that.
the best form of that lineup is KD at the 5, right?
Yeah, you were saying this before, but
I mean,
Like KD at the 5 and just outscore.
You need
them.
to pay. You need. I
It's
mean,
too
you need,
durable,
you need
isn't it?
John J. Jordan out there, really, even though he can't play minutes. He is.
Nick
like,
Claxton over DeAndre Jordan any day of the week, dude.
I know, but I mean, I would do Jordan start the game, maybe set a tone or something. But
He's
I don't know.
brutal, man. Like, he sucks.
But it's like, but he's the biggest. He's just your biggest player.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, that's
they're
it.
putting Blake Griffin at the 5 sometimes.
Exactly. Which
I would
is,
put. I just think that
He dunked
like
twice the other night. I don't know if you saw that. But
if
it
you can-
happened.
They were nice, yeah, but I mean, who cares? The fucking
if-
alley-oops.
It was so funny. It was like the biggest reach of all time. He was like, and then he
Yeah.
fell over as well.
But if
Oh,
you
yeah.
can like run out a lineup that is Harden, Kyrie, then your 3 is gonna be like, I don't know,
Joe Harris. I
Joe
guess.
Harris, and then your
Brown.
4 can be like Bruce Brown.
I think Bruce Brown's great. I
And
love
you
him.
just what do you do defensively against that? They're gonna score like
but
100.
Yeah, but Embiid is gonna do Embiid is gonna be for the start. Like, he's gonna be scoring, and he's probably gonna Durant's gonna get a few fouls, of course.
But
like,
you just say I
don't
think
play any. You're just saying to Durant,
I think
stand
you
there.
just say, okay, Joel's gonna have 45 and everyone else is gonna have 0. Like, that's just what we're gonna do.
I think, you know what I noticed in the games. 'Cause I always like look at the stat. Like, I look at the stats more than I watch the games. I've been watching a lot of the games recently, but I always feel this in like there's like teams that, like, for example, the Nets have. And the Jazz is kind of like this as well, is this like they've got so many 40% shooters.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Harden isn't a 40% shooter, but he can volume shoot. But when
That's
he's
because
slowed
of the
down,
inefficiency of
'cause he's
shooting
inefficient.
hard shots.
but he's getting less than them, and now he's just driven them into assists. So he's just driving through more 40% shooters and higher, right?
Yeah.
they've got so many good 40% shooters, and even like Shamet is actually turning into a great
He's playing really
three
well.
shooter.
He was solid in the Clippers and Phoenix night. I mean Philly, yeah.
So I just said like the 76ers is like you don't have as many options for the three. So it's like you're fighting against a team that is like not only do you have to get more points than them in the paint, but the chance of you getting more threes in per the amount you took is probably going to be a lot lower. So the Nets have to have a bad shooting night because you worked hard defensively, as well as them probably just having a bit of an off shooting night, and you've got to outscore them in the paint. And that's just like over this game of seven series. That's just statistically, it's just going to be the team that can shoot harder threes offensively is going to win.
Yeah. And then who knows? There might be a fucking injury here.
I don't think it's an injury thing. I think it's more like that.
Harden nearly beat the Warriors playing small ball, bombs away, like crazy Mike D'Antoni offense without two other superstars.
That's
like,
true. Well, Chris Paul was injured, yeah.
But just like with other dudes, like just a lot of just guys were on that team. We're like, what's Ben McLemore doing right now?
Yeah.
You know what
he's
I mean?
He's on the Lake Show.
Yeah. He showed up. He
But nothing.
missed us.
He's doing nothing, yeah.
All right, this is my prediction. I watched a few of the first round games, and I've never seen teams fight harder in the first round before. Like it is like fucking aggressive out there. Like the Celtics versus the Nets.
That's chippy, yeah.
Tatum and Durant going at each other. Like Durant elbowed Tatum in the face twice in the same foul, and then Tatum got fouled. Uppercut poked him in the eye as Tatum was aggressively going around the side. Like, they are going each other, man. So I think what's going to happen is, like, out of the Bucks versus the Celtics versus the Nets, Bucks versus the Nets, and if then it's the 76ers versus the Nets, it's like, yo, someone is getting fucking injured hard and they're out of the playoffs because everyone is fighting dirty because there are so many good teams.
And then plus
the
refs do let them, well, not the refs this year because they've been a fucking joke, but I'm saying they normally let you play through it a lot more in playoffs as well.
But when both teams are doing that, it's like, yeah, you might not want to injure the other player, but you're also like, I don't want to lose.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then as soon as someone does a little bit dirty on the other team because they're fighting, you're like, nah, fuck them.
Also because playing against, like, I feel like specifically Harden and Kyrie just have a way of, like, pissing off opposing players.
Oh, yeah.
Because of, like, how when they beat you.
And
like,
Durant.
when they beat you on a possession, Durant has this, like, inevitability that I don't think anyone feels bad when, like,
He is going
but
players,
he's like, on, like, Brooklyn, he's got a lot more, like, fucking chippy, throwing a lot more, like, bows, like, really getting into people. But, like, there's this thing I think that happens with Kyrie and Harden,
for sure.
which is when you just get like fucking humiliated like that as a defender,
course, yeah.
it just pisses people off. Like Harden just has this way of like getting under people's skin where they just want to take his head off.
Yeah, if you're just tricky.
Because he's just
it
going to
pisses people
stand there and look at you and just do that ISO dribble and then be like, gotcha, free throws. Like, fuck you.
No, but he also he points to you when he scores on you. That's the best. He's
an arsehole,
done it a few
he rocks.
times, but it was when I think it was against the Clippers or something, and he undercut him like 2 years ago, and so there was him on the floor and three other players, and he was just boom, 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 like that. It's like on you. It's hilarious. I think he pointed to Doc Rivers. He's like, man, didn't even do nothing.
I wasn't even coaching.
Yeah.
Let's go west.
I was only on my way out.
I didn't even draw up the play.
Let's go to the week west.
The week
West.
Where everything is upside down. First is last and last is first.
Oh my god.
The world has gone topsy-turvy.
Well, why is there a Pirates in the Wild West? I know you were trying to do a cowboy theme.
The Utah Jizz versus the Salty Lakers.
Salty.
The Salty Lickers.
Yeah, we're going Lakers over Phoenix. Yeah.
Probably not.
It's my podcast. Don't argue. Don't you argue?
And this is the I Want to Meet Chris Paul podcast.
No, definitely.
I want to meet DeAndre Ayton. I want to meet...
I want to meet Game 1, Ayton.
I want to meet Dario Saric podcast.
Devin, book him in to see me for the podcast. Devin Ayton.
I could probably meet Campaign.
I could probably meet.
I could probably just message him or something.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, man? You want to like Zoom call or something?
Yeah. Yo, what's your Xbox Live? In the week west we got
the dull ass Mavericks.
The Mavs. I'm going Mavs over Clippers. Mavs over Clippers for sure.
You touch your neck because you know you don't believe it.
They'll
come good. They'll come good. They won't. They'll pull it together.
What? Yeah, and you reckon it's going 7 games and Clippers are winning?
I think people forget the Clippers have
Zubac.
Yeah, I love Ivica, dude.
I mean, like he's like Doncic
Put Boogie in.
ridiculous. Like he's ridiculous. Like obviously, it's like he's shining.
It's ridiculous. I mean,
beautiful.
he can average a 30-point triple-double. That's not
and
nothing.
the Clippers don't make sense to me anymore. I can't follow them because I can't piece together.
Porzingis has not been playing well anyway, but he had himself a terrible game. He's not going to have a game that bad again. You'd hope.
Yeah,
like that was crazy.
No, I just don't think he's very good anymore.
No, but how? Like it's like he's fully healthy now. There's no way he fucking isn't.
But he keeps getting
is
taller.
he ever going to be fully healthy?
No, but I mean, it's not like he's not recovering from anything else now. Or he shouldn't be anyway.
So Porzingis'
Time-wise.
upside was always
Except for being 7'11".
Porzingis' upside was always the fact that he was a 3-point shooter, could
He's a
stretch the floor,
unicorn.
and he could rim protect. Right.
Yeah.
What's happened now is the shot is still sort of there. He still can't post up a fucking chair.
No.
And like the problem is, what's gone with the athleticism is actually the rim protection. And that's like, so when you have a guy who's just
It's like
now
boxing out a feather.
No, but
like
length.
he's just Kelly Olynyk now. Like that's
No, but he's still got length. Like it's like.
but he's just not defensively there. Like he should be. I get it. Like he should be. But
But
he's
he's
so,
25 as well.
He's
so
so do you see that play against the Clippers where he just got crossed into oblivion?
Yeah, that was
Like
crazy.
he fell the fuck over.
I feel, I
horrible.
think that's like the league's definitely moved on from length. Length is irrelevant if you can't hold position, and position is about like power and timing, and also like momentum. It's like the way Zion gets rebounds, even though he's not that tall. It's like position, strength, momentum, speed.
Well, he's a fucking freak anyway.
He's obviously the best player
And
in the league. But
Porzingis
yeah.
has got fucking
It's all about your ass, man.
nine kneecaps.
I look
so
at
he's fucked
the
anyway.
player's ass. Like I'm just like
Yeah.
the legs and
You
the
look-
ass. If they got good legs and ass, but long arms and they're short, I'm like I prefer that over a 7 foot like skin, no ass.
And
unicorn.
Boris Diaw is getting his second shout out of this podcast.
Point guard.
He had one of the juiciest ass.
You gotta have
Point
good ass to
guard.
box out.
Point guard Raymond Felton.
Oh my lord.
We're gonna have to play Larry at the 2.
Chunky boat. Raymond Felton.
Unfortunately,
oh
we're
my
gonna play
lord.
Larry at the 2 for the fat ass also.
That was crazy. I saw him take a charge and bounce back up. That's how voluptuous this was. He just went, hey, Mo.
PJ Tucker at the 5.
he took it.
He dunks sitting down.
All right, let's go.
Suns.
So we got Lakers.
Lakers.
Then we're going Mavs.
I'll say that I think the Clips are going to beat them.
I think
All
the
right,
Clips.
we got Clips, and I took Mavs. So and then we got
It's going to be dirty.
Jazz
Like it's
or
going to be
Grizz?
4-3 Clippers.
I'm going to say Jazz.
Jazz.
When the Jazz won, they won a lot easier than
they're
the Grizzlies
cooking. Well,
did.
they got Mitchell back as well.
No,
So
it's not even a chance. The Grizzlies.
But
Yeah.
like when the Grizzlies won, it was like dirty. Like it was
yeah,
like
yeah, but-
it was.
But like, what are we even
nasty.
talking about?
Yeah,
You don't even
love.
talk about it. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the Grizzlies know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Jazz is like a system.
Yeah.
And then you got next we'd have Denver,
Nuggets,
Portland.
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 I mean, it's all about Murray not being there. So
I still believe in the Nuggets.
I
Because I believe in Facundo
I do too
Campazzo.
because they got Aaron
That's what I'm
Gordon as
thinking
well.
because
They're
both
like-
of them played terrible today, so that could have went either way.
Well,
so that game was.
I reckon.
Do you-
I think the Nuggets only because I think that like Lillard's amazing, but Jokic, fuck man, like he's
The
just
adjustment that they made, which was after game
They're
1.
missing a few players, Denver though. Like they got fucking
Okay.
Barton's out.
If you're gonna put Robert Covington on Michael Porter Jr., you're in big trouble. Because Covington is a great off-ball defender, but he's a terrible on-ball defender.
Yeah.
And nobody really talks about that because everyone just says, "Oh, Covington is a great defender." He actually can't
It's
stay
help
in front of
defense
people.
that he's
Like
great
he's
at, yeah.
a great guy to come over and help, but like he can't actually guard Michael Porter Jr. And then like the way that Jokic, and he didn't have a great game, but like the adjustment they made after game 1 was Jokic was down in the post and they just put Nurk on him, and Nurk takes a lot of pride in being like, no big man is just gonna like bully me.
Yeah.
But then all they did in game 2 and 3 was just Jokic went out to the elbows and he started playmaking from the elbows and from the free throw line.
That's where he lives. That's where he should be.
Like he's like it's literally some like fucking.
it's actually where he lives. He built a house.
Yeah.
It's some Chris Webber shit. Like that's what they're on right now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Top of the key, high post pick and roll, like just hitting cutters like all day. And obviously Facundo Campazzo is the best player in the league.
Obviously, I mean, he's the oldest rookie for a reason.
My man's like 47.
He was biding his time. He didn't want to come in. He'd be like, it'd be too easy if I'm in my prime.
he
I want to
retired
be one of
before he was a
35.
His age and height are exactly the same.
6 inches.
I hate that knocking down a statue of Ronaldo in Real Madrid to put up for Facundo
Ronaldo
Campazzo.
Rondo.
My favorite thing about watching Facundo Campazzo play is the way that he'll just do a simple entry pass and just put like backspin on it for no reason.
Yeah, but it's to make it a tougher catch. Yeah, that's why.
I said this to you. Facundo Campazzo plays like dunking is for guys who can't pass. Like that's the attitude he takes into every game. He's like, why would I want to like hit threes or dunk or whatever if I can just throw entry passes that spin for some reason?
Yeah.
That I used my foot.
Yeah, he's just all he does. He's just like, oh no, I just do like.
I watch
passes
Ricky Rubio highlights for a reason. Okay.
Yeah, who knew what we needed was an older, shorter Ricky Rubio?
We should be able to headbutt the ball in basketball. I reckon that would make us so good. If you could head it into the rim, just like.
Oh yeah.
Steve Nash could have done it back in the day for sure. That was one of the dunk contests. Was Amar Stoudemire just threw it to Steve Nash. Steve Nash just headed it back to him, and then Stoudemire just dunked it. That was that shitty dunk. You're like, it was a good header from Nick. Like all the talent came from Steve Nash in that. Like you had to get that headed on target, but then he just caught it with.
I don't think
shite.
Amari was an incredible athlete in his time, but I can't think in any of the times I've watched Amari Stoudemire play him doing a dunk that's not just him, just straight up, just
tomahawk. Yeah, that's it.
Like,
yeah,
bah, like that's all it was. He was never like. I don't remember him like in-game dunking, doing anything fucking crazy. He's just like, no, I'm just bigger, stronger, and faster than you. Like I win.
And I got goggles on, so you can't even poke me in the eye.
And then later he was like, I'm not bigger, stronger, or faster than you because my knees don't work.
Hello,
anymore.
Israel.
I'm going to convert to Hasidic Judaism.
So then we got who you got next?
So who's the Jazz?
Lakers or Denver? No.
Oh, Jazz.
Denver.
No, Jazz plays the...
Jazz Grizzlies.
Jazz will play Mavs or Clippers.
So Jazz Clippers?
Yeah. Well,
I think Clippers.
Clippers, yeah. And then you got...
Wait. Do we think Clippers?
I think that like both of the... I think that the fundamental issue with both of those teams is very similar, which is like they're both teams that you believe in the system and you sort of like... They're great three-point shooting teams.
I don't believe in the system of the Clippers.
Well, the Clippers... Like, I believe in the system in the sense that I believe in Paul George and Kawhi.
Well, that's players, though. That's not a system.
But like, okay, but when they were healthy and like without, going too in the weeds with this shit... When they were healthy and they were actually like playmaking through Nick Batum, who was like playmaking on the perimeter, they were actually playing a really interesting, not exciting, like only exciting if you're like a basketball
Reggie
nerd.
Jackson was like putting up 6 man of the year numbers as well. It wasn't too bad.
They had some interesting playmaking options in terms of secondary ball handlers, secondary playmakers, where they were really like they had a lot of options where they could play around on the court, and no matter who you really gave the ball to, they could create a shot for someone else.
Yeah.
Which is really dangerous, right? Obviously. It's really dangerous if everyone on the floor can sort of make a shot. Even Zubac is like a shockingly good passer when he wants to be.
And he can finish around the rim easily.
Yeah. So like
I think, baby hook shot on there.
I think I believe in both of their like sort of like their ideologies that they've implemented.
You don't believe in Patrick Beverley though, do you? He's awful and he's homeless.
I love Pat Bev.
How's he homeless?
He does look homeless.
He's unplayable this series.
He's unplayable.
Like he is.
Yeah, but they got Rondo, and last game Rondo got...
But Rondo needs minutes. Like, give him the minutes then.
He got it last game. He got the most assists.
Oh, well, there you go.
Rondo in games 1 and 2 had the look of like Rondo and the Dallas Mavericks. Like,
Yeah,
he
but
had
game 3
that
was
look
good, man.
on his face. Yeah, which is him. He like Rondo wants to be treated like a genius.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to go to a team and they're like, oh, you're like a secondary playmaking option. Like if he's on the floor, he's like, let me do Rondo shit.
Yeah. Just
I
let
don't
me
want
run
to.
shit.
Don't fuck around and like make me like a fucking spot up 3-point shooter. Like what are you
George,
talking?
I don't want to be George Hill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
So,
I mean,
like,
that's that works more than it doesn't.
true.
Like
Yeah.
last year, he won.
No, but that was because
A ring.
but that was because we let Rondo do Rondo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's like you just need a really good team for that to
Yeah,
happen.
You have to give him the car keys. Like, you can't just have Rondo on the team. And that was part of the problem, I think, in the first 2 games, is that they had, like, this playmaking option, and they were just not playing him. And also, Terrence Mann was playing, like, 2 minutes a game. And Terrence Mann has been one of their best players for the entire season.
No.
Like,
It's embarrassing.
Serge Ibaka has played, like, I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
He was starting most of the season as well.
Like, Ty Lue, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Apparently, Ibaka's injured. But, like, these rotations, I'm like, I don't know why the fuck we're playing... Like,
Injured. Fuck off. It's not a neck brace, it's a scarf. That's what he's wearing. He loves his fucking fancy scarves.
but also, yeah, like...
Who was on the Clippers that they cut? Was it Kleber?
Cousins, did he cut him in the end?
Yeah, they
or?
cut Boogie in the end.
And the other guy, Kleber. who's the
Maxi
guy-
Kleber's on the maps.
Maxi Kleber.
There was another guy they took to the Clippers that was like, what was his name? They got him for like 40 million, but he's
Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard.
Yeah, he's
Luke Kennard's technically on the bench. The one time they played him, he had like 35.
But it's like, what did he do in Detroit to earn that money as well?
He was very solid. Like, that's it. Like, that's all he needed to be. Like, okay, give me him over
Well,
Marcus.
solid on a terrible team is not that good, though.
Yeah, but he's not going to commit like a flagrant. Like, putting Marcus Morris out there, you might as well have
he's
put
been fouled out every game.
like a wild pit bull. That guy's lost his fucking mind.
in a badly lit room,
Yeah,
so he doesn't know who he's meant to bite.
There's a dog loose on the court.
Yeah, he's wild.
All right, so then we got Lakers or Denver. You gotta give Lakers, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
And then you got Lakers and Clippers. I'm going Lakers.
I think, I guess the Lakers are kind of punching.
Yeah. I think
yeah.
so. I think that when the Lakers are on defensively, it's fucked. Like, it's fucked. When they defend like they defended at the end of Game 3, I don't know who can score on them. Like, I just don't know if there's a team that can score on that lineup.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And
My only problem with it, we'll just throw it out for my goddamn 2 cents, 2 chains even. Montrezl Harrell, can the man get some minutes? Can the man
I think Trez.
I know what you're talking about. Like, obviously the energy he doesn't have. Like, he already plays that hard anyway. He doesn't have a second gear. So if that doesn't work, he gets pissed off or whatever, or annoyed himself. But I'm saying, like, he was playing well before that, and like maybe he's gonna play a lot during the Clippers because he's maybe an X factor there.
I think it's like a JaVale McGee thing. Like, I think it's like they have these dudes and they put them in the series where they're relevant. If you go in there and someone tries to play small ball against you, play Trez for 30 minutes because he's just gonna kill him. Like, he's just gonna kill him if you try and play small ball against them. So he's like,
so you're saying the Crowder him matchup. You're giving it your Crowder.
Dude. The
Heat lost every single game because they traded Crowder for Oladipo.
When they put that Darius Saric at the 5 lineup, which has been a good lineup all year when the Suns go small.
Yeah.
But obviously it relies upon having like campaign like actually playing the way he's playing right now, which I just is inexplicable.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Paul in your ear, like that's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, but like when you go to that
I want that
lineup,
while I go to sleep.
There you go. Exactly.
he would almost definitely call you a homophobic slur. He would almost definitely call you a
I'd
homophobic
accept
slur.
that.
He would pour ice over you for sure. Definitely. Couple of
They
fucking
dob you in
coaching
for not
stuff.
tucking your shirt in.
Yeah. He didn't make your bed. He didn't make his bed, everybody.
You'd go to lie down and he'd like sit under you before and you'd fall weirdly on the bed.
I'm
just competitive.
Yeah.
It is a brutal realization that all of my heroes would despise me. Like every single basketball player that I'm like, that guy's awesome, he would see my life and be like, you fucking animal. What is wrong with you?
Would they respect the non-work ethic? Would they respect that you've went so far with not even attempting to work out?
Wait, you don't have talent and you didn't try? Ooh.
Yeah, dude. I'm like,
you're my Moneyball. You know that. You're my Jonah Hill. Literally, like you know everything, but you shouldn't.
Yeah.
About this sport.
I'm the opposite of. Whatever the opposite of the mamba mentality is what I have.
Blubber mentality.
Yeah. I was gonna go with sofa mentality.
Flubber mentality. Robin Williams.
No, Flubber is active. What are you talking about?
Hey, I play sports.
Flubber is consistent.
I'm just not good at it.
But the opposite of a mamba mentality is.
They're like, he was in the gym at 3 in the morning. I'd be like, I haven't been to the gym in 3 years. I don't know.
I'm in the mumble mentality.
The mumble. No, that's Shaquille O'Neal. That's what he's got. The mumble.
Andre Drummond has the fumble mentality.
I got the mamba mentality. You got that hungry jacket.
The Yumbo mentality.
I got the grumble in my belly.
I'm putting on weight like Shaq so I can bang in the post.
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack? No. Shut the fuck up right now, Sam. This is serious.
Don't be talking about weight.
I have actually no actual comments on your weight. I never think about it or care. You can be whatever size you want to be and still be irrelevant.
You wear a lot of black and you somehow you're getting away with it. It's quite slimming and the live colours throw me off. I would never have a fat friend, so you can't be fat.
Dazzle camouflage, dude.
Yeah.
Dazzle camouflage. Oh, my eyes. Oh, mermaid.
Can you hit him with it for the camera? Just
how would they be able to see?
Stand up and just show him the leg.
Oh, I can't stand up without assistance.
Mamba mentality.
Do you have a winch?
I don't stand up unless it's a
Do
triple
you have a
double.
winch on this podcast? Alright guys, I'll see you next week. I'll be here as always. If we haven't moved him, he'll still be here. Sam's on his way to buy some butter. Well, not slipping. You're not stuck in anything, are you? No, it's not of it. But anyway, we got Jackson Pierce. Thanks for doing it, lad.
Thanks,
Sam Kissajukian. Thanks for doing it,
Have fun in
lad.
Perth, Carl.
I appreciate it. I'm in Perth for the next 5 weeks. So come say what up and play some basketball and shit like that. Come see a show. That'd be sick.
I'll be in Sydney still.
This wasn't to you. I went away.
I'll be in Sydney.
Okay,
If you
well.
want to come see me, I'm in my house.
He'll be in his house. Which is again? The full address?
I gave it out last time. Unit 438C, Hewitt Street, Marrickville.
You don't need a postcode because you've got enough. You've got everything.
I'll do
And the lease's name?
I own it.
Okay, alright.
You own your house?
Yes.
You bought it?
Really?
A lot of dead relatives.
Okay.
Oh, like a lord, like a marquis.
Do they still live there? Is that part of the...
I offed them.
Yeah.
Ooh, what are you doing with your life?
Sam is about to roast him, but then realised that he lives in a warehouse. So quickly started singing.
You don't have a place.
Okay, well this is why I wanted to stop him, because if we're going to play who's fucking Opal Card?
You're recording your podcast that no one listens to in my studio, which I built.
Cut this, man.
Jesus, well, if they're listening now, they're going to feel like a fool. They're like, well, I'm listening.
It's not a green screen, it's a main screen.
Take it out.
See you later, guys.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Lakers in
Press it.
8.
Press
Lakers
the-
in 8.
Press the rack.